Hello everyone, you're welcome to our channel today. This is Family Aspects and I'm your host Charles. Today I have something to share with the men, husbands, the guys out there. There's something I want to share with you today, and also the ladies can benefit from it, which is going to be a huge advantage for both couples right now. I want to be talking about things men need to understand or need to know about argument. We all know that many marriages today are going through difficulties, hard times, and a lot of divorce, a lot of separation, a lot of, quarreling as a result of arguments. Now, argument is not a negative thing. It's not a bad thing. Argument is a necessity in marriage, but it is how we handle it, how we go about it. It is our understanding about it that actually is the problem, because we all have our opinions. Understand it. You as a man and your wife or your partner, both of you are different individuals. You are distinct individuals. You have your opinions. You have your way of thinking. The things, your philosophies are different. Your way of thinking is different. Your opinions are different. So again, there will always be conflict, clash in between. Okay, understand that. That's very important. So remember, in the process of this reunion, this love, this relationship you have, love works. Okay, and love is work. You need to understand, remember, while you are in a relationship, while you are in marriage, love is work. But love is also kind. Love is work. Love is also kind. So don't expect your marriage to be conflict free. And this is where a lot of people miss it, especially young couples. Listen, don't expect your marriage to be conflict free. There is no marriage that is conflict free. Mark that. Okay, now before the fight escalates into World War III or World War II, whatever it is, ask yourself this question: how important is it? Does this warrant it? This thing I'm arguing about, this argument I'm trying to win, does it warrant it? How important is it to me? How important is it? You need to ask yourself that question. Now, another thing you want to learn to do or understand is patience is important. You have to learn to practice patience with the mood of your wife. Practice patience with her moods. The moods of your wife, you need to understand it. And you have to learn to practice patience with her fears. You have to learn to practice patience with her worries. You have to learn to practice patience with everything around her. Listen, they are not going anywhere. Her fears, her worries, they are not going to go anywhere. So you have to learn to be patient whenever she expresses her worries. You have to learn to be patient whenever she expresses her fears. It's so important. Guys, understand this. This is so important. So practice patience with her mood. Understanding her mood. You need to be patient. Okay, that's very important if you want to have a good understanding and how to minimize argument and walk through your marriage well. Now, don't bring up ancient histories. It never ends well. A lot of times we try to bring in our argument, we try to portray or give evidences of why we stand so real, so strong with our decisions, with our opinions. And then by using ancient history to back up our evidence, such things doesn't end up well, because at the end of the day you are trying to expose your spouse to be like a ridicule, like you are belittling her intelligence or something. Such, it doesn't end well, because you are actually showing out, exposing that your partner is not intelligent. Do you understand? So you don't want to deal with that aspect of your conversation with her. All right. So it's so important. So don't Now, there are things that most men do. Not all men do it, okay? The pot. It is not Mali. Don't pot. It's Pot. Pot. Don't pot. Like, guys, there are some guys who does that. They do that to their wives, to their female partner. You don't pot. It's not Mali. It doesn't express the man in you. It's so babyish, and that can aggravate anger, even make the argument grow worse. So don't do it. It's not Mali. Generally speaking, if you agree with your partner, with her, fights can be avoided. Generally, if you will agree with her, even though you just agree, you disagree to agree, or you agree to disagree, but you just want to agree with her to avoid disagreement. That's what I mean. It is going to be far better for you. You will avoid a lot of fights. Then another thing you need to understand when argument is going or things like this happen, learn to forgive. You have to forgive her. Forgive her even if it is the last thing you want to do. Forgive her, especially when you do not think she deserves it. You learn to practice forgiveness. With this, you will actually subside a lot of arguments. You reduce the argument. I've seen the couples argue sun up to sundown. They are always fighting. They call it mouth fights. They fight all the time. It's unnecessary. Accept the fact women argue differently than men. Guys, you need to understand that. Women argue differently than men. She will threaten to leave, all right? She will say things to you, insane things to you, all right? It is her right as a woman. But in reality, you do not take those things personally. When a woman is angry and she says things, I will encourage you guys, don't take it personally. Because most things that she says when she's angry, she actually don't mean them. She actually don't mean them. So remember that if you think it just might be your fault, then it probably is. That's the way to go. If you just say, well, I think it's my fault, that's the way to go. It probably is, because at that moment you might be calming things down. It may not be necessarily your fault, but just admit, just to reduce the tension that the argument is building up. All right. Now, I understand some men will want to fight back. Screaming back to a woman is not going to help. You don't need to scream back to her when you're arguing. If you're in an argument, you scream back at her, it's not going to help. It's going to make things worse. You may try to shut her down, but inside her, she's boiling and she's going to burst. Maybe not that day. Another day will come where she will burst. She will light up in a different way, and you wouldn't want that. So it's very important. And another thing a man need to understand: if you ever feel like pushing, hitting her, or sick, argument is going, you feel like pushing her. There are some men that are that way. They can't hold themselves. They just push her or hit her. Seek immediate counseling. You need help. That is dangerous. Any man that behaves like that, you need help. Both of you need to sit down with a therapist or something. You need help. Okay? It's very important. So, again, it doesn't matter the situation. All of these things is something you can practice. Now, realize that there will be days when her hormones will be in control of her mind. There are days where the hormones of a woman will be in control of her mind. When that day comes, you better just stay in love. Listen, the best answer is just love her anyway, because at that moment, silence is helping. Being calm is helping. Patient is helping. You need to practice those things. It will help you. Remember, if you do not say anything mean, that is one less thing you will have to apologize for. So when conflict do arise, ask yourself, would you rather be right or happy? People who would rather be right end up in a divorce court. Trust me. So ask yourself, would you rather be right or happy? Do you know, this is the basic question that a lot of couples are not asking themselves in the time of argument, when they are in the heat of disagreement. They are not asking. Like I said, conflict is part of marriage. It can never go away. But as for now, conflict do arise. And until you die, conflict would arise in your marriage. So you need to ask yourself, would I rather be right or happy? I just told you, people who choose to be right in argument, who wants to win argument, end up in divorce court. Trust me, it's just a matter of time. It will happen. It's just a matter of time. So learn to ask for forgiveness and mean it. In your state of argument, in your state of conflict, you have to learn to ask for forgiveness. She may make you say, make you ask for it, or makes you apologize. Whether night or day, whichever end time or time, but eventually she will forgive you. But again, learn to ask for forgiveness. It's very important. Another thing I would like to bring to your idea or to your pure mind is, remember why men just want to solve the problem. Men just want to solve the problem. Women want to talk about how it makes them feel. So when argument is going on, let me try and give you some thoughts here. When argument is going on, all right, don't try to solve the problem. Instead, let her talk about it. Let her talk about how she feels. Let her talk about how she feels. Your job is to sit down and listen. And that's where a lot of problem is with marriage and relationship today, because many men don't know how to sit down and listen. They haven't learned the skill to listen to their spouse. In the heat of an argument, your role is not to try to solve the problem. Your role is to sit down and listen. Listen to how she feels. Listen to her opinions. It's very important. And to have less of argument in your marriage, I will advise you to do this. If you are a believer, I'm not asking you to be a believer, but if you are a believer, pray together at night. Even when you are mad, this keep priorities straight. This practice, it will keep your priorities straight. Pray together at night. Even when you are mad, learn it. And in the process, don't bring up the past. In fact, a short memory is a good thing here. Don't bring back the past. Have a short memory of your past. It will help you in your marriage. It will help you a great deal in your marriage. Now, when she apologizes, learn to accept it. Learn to accept her apologies. Even if you think she could have done better, it doesn't matter. Just accept her apologies. It will help you. Now, these things I'm mentioning now, these are key things that men need to know. in their marriage when it comes to argument. You need to know these things. Like I said before, don't take to heart anything that she says during an argument, because she might just be talking. She doesn't mean what she's saying. So practice saying the words, I'm sorry. Practice it. Say, I forgive you. Learn to say it. You know, Jesus said it several times. Jesus said it several times. He was always saying, I forgive you. So learn to say, forgive. I forgive you. I'm sorry. These words, these phrases, they tend to paralyze the lips of most men. I said it again. I said, practice saying the words, thank you, and I forgive you. These phrases, these words, they will paralyze the lips of most men. In other words, they tend to paralyze the lips of those men. Most men don't say things like this. Most men don't say things like this. Most men never say, I'm sorry. Most men hardly say, I'm sorry. And you want a conflict to die down? Learn to say, I'm sorry. Learn to say, I forgive you. You see. Another thing you must learn when argument arrives, you don't have to win. You do not have to win every argument. Even any argument at all, you don't have to win. Don't even set up to win an argument. Because to be right in argument is to create more problems and conflict and disagreement that will eventually end in court. So this is very important. So don't use words to harm. Don't use words to harm your partner. Just because she's hostile, and doesn't mean you have to be hostile. So don't use words to harm. Okay. Another thing you have to learn. One of the things that upset ladies is when their husband is trying to control their friends. Don't try to control her friends. Don't try to control her moods. Don't try to control her spending. Don't try to control her happiness. Concentrate on your issues and you'll be better, happier. So practice kindness, patience, and gentleness all the time. That's what you need to do. You practice these things, it will change your relationship. It will improve your life. I believe these things has been helpful. I just thought I should share this thought with you guys, and I hope it will be of great help. Thank you for watching and listening. And if you are here for the first time, subscribe to our channel and also hit the bell notification so that you will not miss anything. I'm going to be back to share more with you. Until then, bye for now. Stay peace.